Antique name. It's a very descriptive name, so it must be a particular order of characters or something. Oh, damn, okay. I was gonna actually try to look at... No, it's like... It's high firepower Bangbu, it's like, or high firepower combat Bangbu, like, how is that how's that a unique name? It seems like it's just incredibly descriptive, you know? Yeah, high firepower combat Bangbu, it's like... Yeah, like, it must use, like, particular characters in Chinese that, like, make it seem more of a name than just a description. Which, you know, that does definitely happen. It's one of those things where it's like, here's the characters that are used, and here's their meaning, and we're just getting the meaning, but the characters themselves mean nothing, right? So the characters, the meaning of those words are basically a description. You see it kind of in Japanese too, except it's like one of those like Chunibyo things where it's like, oh, here are the characters, and we're gonna put the furigana, which is basically the way to pronounce the characters, as something completely bullshit, right? So it's like, here's the characters we use. We use like evil dragon, but like the furigana just says something completely different. So it's basically like, it's just supposed to be like edgy, you know, an edgy boy type thing where it's like, yeah, like, I'm going to use these characters that look really cool or mean or naturally mean really cool things, but so that it's still properly defined, you know. But I'll change it to mean my name, you know, Bob or something, you know. I'll use evil dragon, and then in the furigana I'll have it spell out Bob, you know, to be like, yeah, that's me. So it could be something like that, where it's just like, yeah, the name is really cool and epic, but the literal translation is not. I mean, what? We don't really need the manuscript. Like the manuscript doesn't really help us. We aren't mechanics. So even if we have the manuscript, it's not like the manuscript's going to be like, here's exactly how to fix these Bangbu. Because, like, wasn't the whole point that one of the reasons why the Bangbu were no longer used is because of the expense that it takes to maintain and fix them? Which means it's very unlikely for the way for us to be able to fix them is just like tinker with some stuff inside the Bangbu. It's like, presumably, the whole point is that they're breaking constantly, and you have to replace parts constantly. And so not only is it costly to make them, but the constant replacing of parts that are breaking is also expensive, and that's why they are no longer in use. So it seems very unlikely when he has pretty much everything broken that we can just poke around inside using a manual to fix something. Seems like we have to replace it with parts, which probably no one has because they're out of, like, no one uses these. That's actually super crazy, right? And that's not a simple basic information network, right? Like, basic information network would be like, oh, well, you guys are in the Yunqui Summit, and we've heard you talked about in all the like recent shit that's gone down in this location, right? Oh, we heard you were the ones who, you know, found the corruption within the Luminex company that had to do with the Hollow. Having him assuming that we are involved, sure. But her, like, isn't the whole point, like, they're an incredibly mysterious organization that rarely ever appears? The fact that you are able not only to know her name, but know what she looks like, is super suspicious. Because I would imagine that the only people who really know who she is the people she's, you know, directly interacted with. Now, to be fair, she is also very, her appearance is incredibly unique, so it's possible that any people she has interacted with, you know, it's not possible. Anyone who interacted with her would definitely remember who she is because of how just insanely unique she is. A tiny, bright pink bunny girl who looks like a child. You know, yes, that's going to be pretty memorable. It's going to stick out in your memory. Definitely, you'll remember that just because how unique they are and how unlikely you are to see anyone like that in your life ever. But even still, it's like really information about her, I would imagine being incredibly rare. So it's weird that they do information about her instead of us. Because like us, whatever. But it also is kind of weird, where it's like, okay. Oh, I see. Wait, no. No, this is different. Okay, I was thinking that maybe the coins that we're collecting. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, okay, so it's basically the stuff we've done before. Oh, so those are the little things that we're finding. Oh, cool. Are these all from the same area? It's like this is the. No, yeah. These are the. This is the type of information, but where's all of them? Well, actually, wait, no, that. This just say Old Port Factory. It doesn't say. Old Port Factory. Old Port Factory. Okay, so they're basically setting this up to be something like. Yeah. But no, there was another thing. I think it was the Young Sin diner also had stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, you can unlock you can unlock stuff by exploring. Oh, I see. So we're reading the manual knowing we knew he was going to come. So the idea is that we get the manual, we can present the manual to him, and he can use his technical expertise as well as the manual to help fix him. But again, it doesn't... Like, again, the biggest issue with these things is the very likely prospect that their high combat power is actually breaking their internal components, and the internal components need to be replaced regularly. In which case, you don't have a manufacturer. You don't know where the components are. Now, maybe maybe some of them are easy. You know, maybe the idea is that the components themselves are not super rare. It's just the fact that they're breaking constantly. Like maybe every single use of the combat bamboo breaks a bunch of components, and even if the components aren't super rare, having to replace them after every single fight for a horde of bamboo definitely would add up. Oh, okay, so they put the mystery exploration shit down there too. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know if there's a point in rising this, but it's good in the sense that it's basically giving us it's giving us a centralized repository, because before it was that you talk to this girl, I think she was the one who helped us. Oh no, yeah, this is it. The neighborhood wishes. These neighborhood wishes were the stuff that were the rewards you could get, and all this stuff was based on finding stuff all over. Actually, no, wait. These are turning in. These are just turning in order stuff. Ah, fuck. Who is? There was someone who we were turning, like the chests we were finding were giving us coins and stuff, and we turned into that dude to be like, yeah, cool, we've explored. I forget who it was at this point now. Yeah, so there was exploration rewards.
つまり現状誰一人
そうみたいなんです。私も報告したいことがあって。
俺も電話してみたんだが、今までもこのような有事にあって宗師は常に慎重でとはいえ、 我らが宗師はたとえうつろ狩りに襲われようとびくともせん。おそらくサジに謀殺されているのだ。
Well, that's what I find like weird, right? There's like even a Void Hunter from New Era. It's like, why were you assuming the Void Hunters would be attacking her? Like, wouldn't the most logical assumption be that she's like, because she told us she was in Hollow Zero to do something. Like, wouldn't the most logical assumption be that she's still in Hollow Zero at the moment? She's in Hollow Zero right now, doing some sort of mission. But yeah, I mean, I did see some memes go out about basically how Yishuan could have like resolved and fixed everything. Because like considering how powerful she is, it's like, man, if she was here, like Zhao Guang would have never needed to use the sword because like the only reason she used the sword is to purify the flowers, but presumably anyone who is powerful enough could also purify them. So, you know, Yishuan might have been able to destroy the flowers without Zhao Guang needing to use her sword. However, that's why they're like, oh shit. Well, we need Zhao Guang to continuously use her sword to fuck her over. So we're gonna have to make sure Yishuan's not here. And the unfortunate thing is there really isn't like, we don't really know enough about stuff, you know? Like, the only thing we do know of is Nineveh, right? Nineveh in Hollow Zero. So the idea could have been, what they should have said is that Yishuan is going with the Void Hunters to hunt down and destroy Nineveh once and for all, right? And that's why she's gone. Because that would give us a concrete reason of why she's going and why she's needed, right? Because we fought Nineveh before, and I think there was even a cutscene with Miyabi fighting Nineveh and well, not really losing, but just like not being able to beat it, right? And Nineveh running away. So the idea is that if they had a group of the strongest fighters, they could have beaten her, maybe. So that would present them with a valid reason why you would need the strongest there. And since like Nineveh hasn't really like done anything recently, you could just say, you know what, shit, like we don't really need Nineveh anymore as an enemy. So why don't we just make this a good reason to go in and destroy it, right? So they could have said that, right? They could have just said that. Yes, Yishuan, when she was talking to us, she could have been like, the Void Hunter has asked if I can assist them in the destruction of Nineveh within Hollow Zero. And then we'd all understand, oh, okay, well, that's a pretty big endeavor, right? Like, that's a, sure, like they'll definitely need your power for that. That's totally reasonable why you need to be away. But there's also the fact that like pretty much despite like the only time she was ever really here was like when she first introduced us to Suibian Temple at the start and patch like 2.0 or 2.1. And then she was just never here again. You know, she might pop up once or twice, but it's like she was never here when we actually needed her to help, and having a very strong person help us, whenever that was needed, she was never there. You know, like fighting Mevarak or fighting her sister, the hollow version or the ethereal version of her sister. You know, she was never there for any of these big fights. Fighting the creator. So she was there and she protected the Seilume Bay, but she never really, or Wi-Fi Peninsula, but she was never there for any of the actual like big moments because of, you know, just how strong they've made her be. Which, you know, with all the shit that's happening here, you'd think it's like, hey, maybe stay here, please. You know, we're constantly dealing with shit. Like, maybe you should actually stay with your disciples and help them instead of just like never being here. But again, I guess they haven't like been here for a while. The whole point was that they hadn't really used this temple in ages, and they're more operating out of other locations. So it does kind of make sense that she's not here, because it's like she's probably at their main base, or the base they've been operating out of for the past few years. So, and so she's probably included in the response team for other New Eridu shit that maybe she can't go over, like live from here anymore, because she wouldn't be able to react in time. Hard to say, but still, yeah, it's just memed about, because it's like, yeah, if only she was, you know, she was here, we could have avoided a lot of this shit.
陸老師。それじゃラマニアンフォローがおかしくなってるのは本当だった。
おいよ。
私たちもそう思ってるの。ごめんなさい。
私は言ったな。お主の存在が。
リンのせいじゃないわ。これは全部私。
そうであるならばなおのこと。楊春子、生命権の権主は我ら雲岳さんにとってかけがえのない財産なのだ。その甘つさえ、それで雲岳さんの名誉を損な。
陸老師、今の話を聞いてて、
どういう意味だ。
春光先輩がどう思うかなんて全然気にしてなくて、あと雲岳さんの財産って言い方もどうかと思うな。春光先輩はれっきとした人だよ。
I mean, she's technically right, but I also think that he has a point too. It's like, dude, like, first of all, the sword isn't yours, right? Like, you're the wielder of the sword, but the sword really belongs to the Yunqui Summit. So, if you're going to wield the sword, then you have to take some responsibility for that. And the fact of the matter is, she isn't, right? It'd be one thing if you want to be like, no, if you want to say what, like, oh, Xiaoguang isn't some asset, or whatever. She's a real person with her own feelings. Sure, if she wants to act within a personal, if she wants to act personally, right? If she wants to go and investigate this shit as herself, that's fine. But the problem is, she's not going and investigating as herself. She's going and investigating as the Kingling sword user because she used the fucking sword. It's like, I'm sorry, but the second you use that sword, you are no longer acting as just yourself. You are acting as a representative of the Yunqui Summit, the Kingling sword user. And that's the thing. So it's like, if you are going to do this and you're going to continue to do this, you can't use the fucking sword because then you are no longer acting as yourself. You're acting as yourself and the sword user. And so that's the problem, is that she wants to act for herself, but she continues to use the sword while doing so, which is like, no, I'm sorry, but like, again, the sword isn't yours. So if you want to bring the sword with you and use the sword, you have to do so with the blessing of the Yunqui Summit. And you didn't. So then it's your responsibility to not use the sword because you don't have their blessing to use the sword. And clearly, this wasn't a life or death situation. You know, it wasn't like, oh my god, these flowers are constantly pumping out miasma and we're being swarmed by monsters because of it. So I have to destroy the flowers to stop that. Nope. We destroyed the monsters. We were just chilling. Could have come back at any point. Could have tried to get other people to help purify it without the use of the swords, but you chose to use the swords. So it's like, you know, so yeah.
現在ラマニアンフォローで起きている現象について私の方でも関係筋から手がかりを集めているところだ。すでにこちらで専門の調査員を何か疑問があればこの場。
That is weird. Yeah, this is incredibly suspicious. Like, the fact that he calls up and that's the first thing he says. You know, like, presumably he heard from Zhao, because, like, Zhao, like, Krampus kind of works for Tops, but, like, it could be that the information she brought back is just publicly known to the top brass as transparency to try to keep Krampus considered neutral. They have to share these things equally amongst Tops and the mayor. I mean, the timing of that is just so insanely suspicious, and how it gets immediately to the point and then hangs up. It's like, really? That's... But whatever.
さっきはありがないし、分かってるの。本当に楊春光かどうかは あんまり関係ないって。
I mean, to be fair, yes, there is definitely that. I do think he does care about her to a degree, but it's hard to tell how much care he has about her. Like, is the care that he has towards her just in the preserving of the Kingming sword user, right? Like, does he care about her enough so that she doesn't, throw away her life before before she dies? Like, she doesn't, like, maybe he doesn't want her to burn away her life too quickly, because then the sword will be ownerless again, and no one will be able to use it during a time of need, perhaps. Hard to say.
当然なんだけどね。生命権は雲岳さんのし。
そんな風に自分を卑下しなくていいって。
そう。いや、こんなんじゃまたあなたに心配されちゃうわよね。
Yeah, I mean, I do find it kind of weird that, like, so we know at least the other sister, right? And Yishuan's sister was the leader of this place, right? I'm pretty sure. So it's just like, you just gotta. I'm surprised no one's like tried to like extrapolate the similarities between the owners before, where it's like, okay, this is what this owner's known for. I guess it kind of does become difficult though, because presumably every sword owner has gone on to do amazing things, and I imagine a lot of the stories about them will be just about them acting heroically with the sword, which will obfuscate the traits they had before the sword, right? Like, how did they behave? How did they act before they had the sword? Because that's what the sword would have resonated with. And also all the shit they do afterwards, you can't use that as the justification. Oh, yes, you're a heroic person because you did all these things. It's like they might have just done these things because they had the power. But you would also need to find a person who, when getting the power, would act heroically, right? So there would obviously be some traits they had before picking up the sword. That would be the key things. But each one should at least know her sister, presumably. So she would be able to find the similarities between a little Zhao Guang and her sister. Although, who knows? Like, we don't know how long she was there at the Yunqi Summit before she became the owner of the sword. It could be that she rarely interacted with her, so so Yishuan doesn't really know Zhao Guang that much, and only really kind of started paying attention to her when she touched the sword and became its owner, and then she's like, oh shit. Hard to say.
まあ、市長さんもある。
いいわね。じゃあ着替えてくるわ。
Yeah, it's a shame. Like, it's a nice outfit, It's a nice outfit, but like I like her other one more. One, I'm not a huge fan of pink. And then two, like, it hides more of her legs. Like in her normal outfit. Okay, in her normal outfit, like, there's a slit down her leg, so you can see like a tattoo on her upper thigh, which looks pretty hot, So, but in this, her legs are pretty much, well, I mean, not really almost covered. Like, you can obviously see, like, it's basically like a mini skirt with a little flared edge around it. So you can see those part of her legs, but I don't know. I like her color sub. Because that's why, like, for Astra's outfit, Astra's alternate outfit was also black. And then Jane Doe's was black and red, So I like the darker colors. I like blacks. I like blues. And so it would have been fine if it was just white. But it's like white and pink, and I just don't care for pink. Oh, I thought I had already interacted there. And I just do not like that ribbon. That ribbon looks so fucking stupid. I just don't like the little parts that like stick out from behind her head. Those like those little horns. It just looks so fucking dumb. And they do exist also in her other outfit, but they don't flare out at the tip to make them even more noticeable. Oh, she's gonna make it her own All-Benefits cakes. Wait, what? Like, I get the osmanthus flowers being used as the osmanthus cake. Why did you get the osmanthus candy too? You gonna crush up the candy for the sweetness? I'm not sure what goes into it, but I assume it was like, yeah, you just make the dough, and you put the flowers on. Like, you sweeten the dough, and then you put the osmanthus flower petals on top. Oh, I see. So the candies are just for fun. The candies are just to enjoy, and the flowers are for the actual cake. So are we gonna try them, and they're gonna taste different? It's also kind of weird, though, because she's like, oh, yeah, I made osmanthus cakes. Well, first of all, that would take time. And second of all, like, typically, you don't make that many, right? Whenever you make a batch of these shit, like, if you're making a batch of cookies, right? You're probably making, like, 20 cookies, right? Like, that's probably it. Something like that. 20, 30 cookies, maybe. Like, a single batch of cookies is not an insane amount. So it's like, same for osmanthus cakes. It's like, you're probably going to make, like, in a batch, you're probably going to make like 10. So it's just like, yeah, I gave, 10 and they were sold out. Like someone like a shop like that would need to have like 30 to 50. But, whatever. Are we going to go back to, yeah, is this the bay? Is it the port, whatchamacallit, where we had the screenshot with her before? Is she not going to remember this? Oh, wait. Oh, I gotta actually go proper, like... Oh, okay, never mind. I thought we were going to bring her to the bay, because we did watch the sunset from the lighthouse in, like, Port Lume Bay, or Port something.
見てるだけで幸せな気持ちになれる。長期編をじっくりと見たのは初めてかも。こんなに美しい街だったんだ。この景色がなくなっちゃったらすごく寂しいよね。
And that's the problem too. It's like she's basically just like winding herself up to sacrifice. She's like she's basically talking herself up to sacrificing everything. She's like, yes, everything's so amazing. It's kind of just like, you know, she just everything is tinged with the whole, yes, I'm never gonna see this again type vibe. So not only just make one batch, you made 2 batches. Like, how long would that have taken? Osmanthus syrup? What the fuck? Yeah, like, I have no clue what goes into osmanthus cakes. I thought it was just like normal sweet cake batter where they just like put osmanthus leaves on top of it. And also, like, so I would assume that osmanthus is just a naturally sweet flower. Either that, or maybe when they pick the flowers, they actually are like also extracting the nectar from the flowers. But It's a very Chinese thing, and I've never really had. Like, I might have tried an Osmanthus cake once, but I have no clue what's in it. Besides, Osmanthus.
Shunko, どうしたの？
ただ長期兵のみんなも幸せねえリン。
何でも聞いて。
もしも進んだ先に待つのがごめんね、変なことを聞いてるのは分かってる。実はちょっと怖い夢を見たの。
I mean,
それが
yeah, but the problem is you're not falling into a bottomless pit, you're running towards it.
答えに
Like,
くかったら
just stop,
いいわよ。
right? Like, the idea is just don't use your sword. Because, like, purifying those flowers, there were other options. You didn't have to use the sword right then and there. You know? Like, you hadn't talked to any of the Yunqui Summit people. You brought literally the newest member of the Yunqui Summit, who is probably the least able to purify the flowers, so you decided to purify them yourself. Like, we could have brought anyone. We could have brought Jufufu or the panda or other disciples who are more skilled at purification. They might have been able to do it without the sword. But you just use the sword immediately without hearing anything else. Like, obviously, you're
答えるよ。
you're taking risks you really shouldn't,
ちっちゃい頃
and you don't really need
僕
to
遊んでた場所にかけがあったの
because you're just too emotional, which is like gonna lead you to
下の方に
yeah,
結構高い
make the same
ところだ
choice that Ishuan's sister
も
did.
ちろん怖かったけどね。あって思ったけど、崖の下はふかふかの島。あの時は運が良かったなーって、そのことをずっと覚えてたんだけど、だからなんていうか、今の私たちが奈落だと思っているものも。
I understand what she's trying to say, and generally this is a good sentiment, because obviously I do think she definitely is making it more than it is, psychologically speaking, but the fact of the matter is, like, dude, like, she is literally dying. Like, the sword is killing her, you know? So it's like, it's obviously the bottomless pit is the sword, right? It's a metaphor for the sword. And the fact of the matter is, if she continues to use it, she will die. There's no, like, two ways about it. It's literally killed every single owner it's ever had before. This is not some, like, oh, I'm just making it bigger than it seems. It's like, no. If you keep using the sword, you will die, so stop. You know, even your alternate personality, which wants you to live, tried to stop you from using the sword. Like, don't use the sword. You know?
そっか、ありがとう。
ごめん。
またいい年して。だか
Like, I get it, right? On some level, it's best to just, you know, make her feel better. I think she definitely is putting herself, like, she's definitely putting herself in a corner. She's painting herself in a corner. She's building up these walls based on, like, everyone else around her, and realistically, she's like, no, you're not as trapped as you feel, but simultaneously, stop using the fucking sword, because that will kill you. So it's just like, huh, yeah.
また悪夢を見
On one hand, you shouldn't be so afraid.
あなたが来て
On the other hand, you can't be so not afraid that you use the sword, because that is actually going to kill you. So please stop using it,
私を受け止めて
you know? So it's kind of like a weird dichotomy. It's like, yes, the thing is incredibly dangerous.
また会ったわね。可愛い後輩。
So you should stop using it. So that like fear she's feeling is basically just like her fear of the sword manifest. And the pressure of everyone on her. You know, the pressure of everyone on her to be the sword wielder, combined with the fear of actually using the sword, creates that bottomless pit in her nightmares. Which the pressure of everyone else is putting on her is something she can deal with. Obviously the fear of the sword is justified. That thing will kill her.
またあった？
私よりもこの子がいいわけ？ねえ、この子が何にズバリ生命圏の内側には2つの不思議なエネルギー、それらは絶えず争ってる。この2人の終わらない決闘が 暴力的なエネルギーの力の規模で考えたら9と陥落とそう。さてじゃあ答えは第三者をこの第三者の存在によってぶつかり合う。そうして第三者はかつて
Oh, interesting. So my theory was always that this sword was created by the creator. So I think the creator was someone from this world who was a complete piece of shit, who was maybe popping holes into the world to absorb ether from another dimension, became super powerful, created the Kingling Sword, and that was his personal weapon. And then he was sealed away. So basically everyone of the world ganged up against him and sealed him away, and now his sword is now ownerless. So it could be that they also put a seal on the sword, so it could be that the two forces that are fighting are the spirit of the sword that the creator initially created with the fourth sword, and the thing that's trying to seal it. And those things are constantly warring within it.
賢いあなたならそう。歴代の生命圏の力の本質は代々の剣士がぶつかり合う2つのエネルギーを沈め、万が一剣士がこの役目を放棄すればその負担は今度は。
So does that mean the scabbard that was created specifically to seal the sword is useless? Because like that was the whole point, is that you had the scabbard, and she's like, yes, this will contain the sword and prevent it from affecting the wielder. So presumably it's acting as the buffer. So maybe which would be fine.
だからこの子はそれが世界を危険にさらすことだと分かってる。
This is what I find stupid, though. So no, she won't give up the sword. Oh, she won't give up the sword. You mean the thing she literally can't give up? She literally cannot put down the sword. She is bound to it. Even if she wanted to, she would not be able to give up the sword. So I think that's a little stupid to be like, no, she won't give it up because that puts the world in danger. Well, it also is convenient that she can't put it down anyway, because once she's bound to it for life, and she will be its owner until she dies. Now, obviously, that's what her brother is trying to prevent. The brother is trying to... So maybe that's it. Maybe that's what the brother's trying to do. Maybe the brother is trying to... Breaking the shackles would mean maybe breaking the balance of the sword. Like, the reason why... I mean, as we were just told, the reason why it's constantly fucking over the world is because the two forces are clashing against each other, and the energy released from their battle is damaging the world. Well, what happens if one of the forces is no longer strong enough to beat the other, and so one force is triumphant? So if one force rules and takes over, then in theory, the sword will no longer be damaging the world. Now, my theory is that one part of the spirit, one of the forces within the sword is the force created by the creator, which is probably going to be a malevolent force, and the other one was the one created by people from back then who sealed away the creator, which would be a positive force. So the problem is that if the brother is now looking for the power of the creator, chances are he's not going to be killing the creator portion of the Kingling Sword. He's going to be killing the benevolent force trying to stop it. Which means then the Kingling Sword will be just purely powered and controlled by the spirit that was created by the creator, which will probably fuck over the world intentionally. Right now, it's fucking over the world unintentionally because of the clashing of the two forces. But if you destroy the good side, so that only the evil side remains, then the sword might be used intentionally to fuck over the world, because the sword itself will be a malevolent force. So, and it could even be worse, right? Because it would be intentionally directing its energy instead of against the other entity, against the world itself. So, I think trying to break the shackles will probably break the equilibrium, and at the end of the day, fuck over the world more than it helps.
一途にみんなを守りたいと願う女の子がそんな決断できるわけがないわよね。
Yes, so you get to break about heart to, because she can't. She literally can't. No one can. Like that's what's so stupid about this. It's like, why do you talk about it like it's a choice? There is no choice. The second she touched it, she was bound to it. That's why her brother is so adamant about trying to free her, is because there is no other way to free her. She's stuck with the sword. Wait, what? So I assume what she means by it's a secret, and that she doesn't know, is that Yishuan doesn't know that there are two forces battling within the sword, maybe.
必ずま英雄が実は生贄でした。
I mean, I find this a little stupid, though.
でも言えないわよね。
Because they're like, oh, well, it's just an ugly truth. It's like, because you can't do anything about it, right? Like, okay, so let's say they know about it, right? What can they do? They can't do anything about it. The thing needs a wielder, or else the world is fucked. You know? And the fact of the matter is, Yishuan herself did actually try to help. She created a scabbard that was supposed to, you know, restrain the effects of the sword from the world. So presumably, the scabbard that Yishuan made should be protecting the world to a degree, so that it doesn't need to drain her as a mediator. You know? Unless it's actively in use and withdrawn from the scabbard. So to say there's a huge ugly truth behind it, it's like, dude, like, Yishuan was the only one who ever created a scabbard. Now, to be fair, maybe, you know, maybe the other people could have created scabbards, but they never thought to. It's hard to say, right? Like, we don't really know. And the fact of the matter is that it does need a wielder. Like, you might be like, oh, it's an ugly truth, they just want the honor of this. It's like, dude, you just admitted that the sword, if the sword doesn't have a wielder, the world gets fucked. So, like, their desire for a wielder is not completely crazy, because it's saving the world. Now, it's saving the world at the cost of the wielder, sure, which, you know, does kind of suck. But again, it's a trolley problem. Do you doom one person and save the world? Or do you doom the world to save one person? You know? It's very much like the choice that Joel had to make in Last of Us. He chose to doom the world and save one person, and it feels like her brother is trying to do the same thing. He's probably going to try to break the equilibrium of the sword, defeat the benevolent presence. He's going to empower the evil presence within the sword so it'll overpower the other presence. And so the energy of their clash will no longer... So there will no longer be clashing, but I think that's going to make the world even more fucked.
でも
つまりあなたの春光先輩はきっとみんな
Oh
を
yeah,
助けるために
exactly. All the shit we've been interacting with, all the shit we've been saying before is clearly her just kind of like
私の命を何とも思わない
shoring up herself. She's like, it's like she's saying goodbye to everything, right? She's like, everything we've done today has been like her just saying, cool, I'm saying goodbye to this. These are the people I'm sacrificing my life to protect.
今からでもこの子に生命権の力を使わせないようにできればもちろんあなたが熱っぽく説得して
And that's the weird thing, right? Give up the sword. Like, she can't give up. She's bound to it. Like, I think she literally can't give it up. Well, the way she's just talking makes it seem like, yeah, she can just, like, let it go. You know, like, she can just be like, okay, I'm gonna go put the sword back in the temple. It's like, well, isn't it, like, bound to her? Like, we don't really know what that means. Like, we don't know if it's, like, bound in the sense that, like, it can't be away from her presence. So if she tries to leave it behind, it'll just teleport to where she is. Or if it is just something that she's bound to it in a way that she's the only one who can wield it, but if she doesn't have it on her person, you know, it'll just chill wherever it is.
私を助けてくれるでしょ
もちろん二人のことは助けたいけど簡単に約束はできないよ。大事なことだし。
And it's also like stupid because like, oh,
私あなた
I don't
の
know.
真剣な結構気に入ってるのよね
There are some unanswered questions in here because, like, supposedly the scabbard is supposed to stop the sword from affecting its user. So in theory, that scabbard should be absorbing the clashing powers between those two entities. So she wouldn't ever need to use the sword anymore. Isn't the world saved? The scabbard is there. All they need to do is reinforce it every now and then, as it presumably gets degraded from the power clashes. But you know, as long as you're upkeeping the I don't know. It's kind of weird. They're not super clear about this shit. Because supposedly, the scabbard should be preventing all this shit. So she shouldn't need to use it anymore. She shouldn't need to act as a mediator. Beyond her just desire to save the world, right? she has the ability to help, even if she has to use the sword, and she has the willingness to use it even at the cost of her own life.
でも過ぎた愛情はのいつかこの子をとにかく
Well, yeah, obviously, because like the reason why she's willing to sacrifice herself so much is because she cares about other people more than she cares about herself, and that's why she used the sword. Because, you know, she's saving other people that she loves more than she loves herself.
さて可愛い子
じゃあずっと聞きたかったんだけど、
黒髪の楊釈園は見たことがあるでしょ。多分この兄弟が生まれながらに持ってでも楊釈園とこの子にはこの子は生命権の剣士として認められたくて聞き分けのいい妹弟子を演じてたけど内心では
Ah, I see. So that's why her brother went all dark and evil, is because the brother was more selfish. The brother was more selfish.
私はそんなこの子の
Yeah, whatever.
意外でしょ。こんな見た目してるからまあ人間って理解残念ながら私は犠牲になることが運命で決まってて誰にも私の運命を決めさせないまあいいわ次に会える
Oh, I'm controlling her? Why? That's so weird. Like, normally we control the other person. Ah, okay. So this is why we're controlling her, because we need to make cakes. I bet she's gonna hear something. I bet she's gonna go in to do this, and she's gonna hear some, like... Oh, maybe not. Okay, never mind. I thought she was gonna hear, like, someone talking shit about her.
自分量さっきまで立って頭がきっとまた私大丈夫10回忘れたらそうすれば
That is the interesting thing, right? Because it's like, she's losing her memories, but the question is, can she make memories faster than she can lose them? I mean, she's relearning how to make something, which is like, okay, sure, she can remake it, right? But the question, of course, about like losing memories, it's like, since you only live once, right? You can go see the sunset every single time, but if you lost the memory of seeing the sunset with her today, like, seeing the sunset tomorrow will only just replace it, but if you're losing more than one memory a day, then you're kind of fucked. You know? Well, of course we'll remember you. We're not the one with memory loss. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember seeing this. I remember seeing the whole. I remember seeing this on the internet where they're like, "Oh yeah, there's going to be all of them as children." So presumably before the catastrophe happened. Or maybe it was after the catastrophe, because like is that the Yunqui Summit disciple outfit? Actually, no, wait, no, her parents were part of the Yunqui Summit, weren't they? So yeah, she might have that outfit. Yeah. I forgot about that. Because they were in the Hollow when the catastrophe happened, but they were working for the Yunqui Summit at the time, I'm pretty sure. So she would have had to have been there. So I guess maybe it was only after the catastrophe did she actually become an official disciple, and up until this point she was just, the child of a disciple. I like a little tiny bell.
して泣いてるの？
お母さんがくれたオルゴール壊れちゃったの。
Oh wait, she's never coming back. Holy shit. Okay, so this is after the... Wait, what? This is after the catastrophe. Why the fuck is Belle still in her outfit then?
私物を直すの得意。
Because, like... Because that makes no sense, right? Because Belle was part of the Academy, but she was only part of the Academy when Carol was in control of it. And once the catastrophe happened, she would have gone to an orphanage of some sort. Although, I guess maybe even in the orphanage she did go to school. She did still go to school, perhaps. Maybe they still did... Yeah, it's actually, we really don't know what they did. Like, we know that they're the owner of a video shop, a movie store. And we know that they're proxies, but we don't really know when that happened. Because, like, we know that they had their eyes implanted when they were children as part of the Academy. But then that was 11 years ago, so they had 11 years of a time skip. I mean, so presumably at least a few years ago, they had to have... at least a few years ago, they had to have started to become proxies, because by the time the game started, we were already a legendary proxy, which I would assume needs a few years of hard work to become the legendary proxy Python. So, but yeah, I guess we would have had to have maybe gone to school and shit before then.
ありがとう。
まだお元気ないね。困ってるなら私に教えて。
目の前にあるのが底なしの真っ暗な穴でも
Man, she was a
私たち
real Debbie Downer even as a child.
ダメなのかな。
それなんだか難しいね。ちょっと待ってて。ここで売ってるはずなんだけどな。
Oh, is that it? Are we the one who gave her the osmanthus cakes? Are we the one who gave her... Obviously, strawberry is better.
金木犀の飴。
Osmanthus.
好きそう。
So are we the ones who gave her the taste for osmanthus candy? It's hard to say. Is this actually what happened? Is this a flashback of what actually happened? The fact that she asked that question makes it seem like this is not really a flashback. Because, like, why the fuck would a child like that ask a question like that?
質問だけど、私もよくわかんない。でも前にね、綺麗なお花を見ようとして、私崖から落ちたことがあったの。
大丈夫だったの？
Fell to my death and died. The
痛かっ
end.
ただけ。下は柔らかい草だったから。
I'm kind of curious how she says...
見ないとわからないことってあるよね。
Oh, okay, okay. I was gonna say, because, like, as an adult, she said, oh, I went back and I realized that hill was nothing more than
じゃあ
that cliff I thought was not really a cliff, but instead
本当はこう
just a little tiny hill.
ないのね。
But if
ちょっとわか
if this is her as a child, she wouldn't obviously have... it would still appear as a cliff to her back then. I don't know, like... it's of two minds, because, like, the thing is, it's like... She's like saying, hey, yeah, if there's an abyss ahead, would you still... If there's a bottomless abyss ahead, would you still walk forward? It's like, well, realistically, if you know it's a bottomless abyss, then no, stop walking forward. You know, don't walk forward into a bottomless pit. You know, sometimes it's fine to stop or find another way around it, right? Like, just going ahead, hoping... Because, like, basically what she says, yeah, well, maybe it's not as bad. Maybe it's not going to be that bad, right? You only fail if you go backwards. It's like, to a degree, yeah. But also, it's just like... You know, blindly going forward, hoping that it's not going to be as bad as it seems, is also not really not really great advice either, right? Because even if it's not a bottomless abyss, if it's a 10-foot drop and you still walk over it blindly, you could still break your legs, you know? What? How did Zhao Guang know that Good Goods sold osmanthus candy? How did a resident of this location know that what the store sells? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, she lived here. She lived here as a child. You know? She lived here for many years. The idea that she might happen to know what the store in the town she lives in sells is not fucking crazy. You know? It's one thing if it was like, oh no, she lived elsewhere. It's like, no, like this is where her family lived, wasn't it? Like, this is where her family lived, even in that temple. And it was only after the catastrophe that people started leaving the temple and went somewhere else. So, you know, for her to know that there's candy there, especially because, like, you're assuming, oh, why did she go there knowing it sold candy? Maybe she didn't go there knowing it sold candy, right? Maybe she went there because that's the closest supermarket. And she was like, oh, I want to get ingredients for osmanthus cakes, so I'm going to check the supermarket, and then just happened to find osmanthus candy there, you know, and chose to buy it. But yeah, whatever. Obviously, does it matter? No, not really. I bet these are going to be super sweet still.
正直に言って。
私。
体のことなら隠し事はなし。
確かにいくつか。
いつから兆候があったかわかる？
実はずっと前から。
Oh wait, oh, long before we even met in Phelan. Wait, what? Oh. I just assumed that it started when she used the sword against the creator. Because up until that point, we had no idea if she had used the sword ever before, you know? So, so then that basically means that Yishuan's scabbard is not actually that. Well, maybe it is helpful, right? Maybe it does help. It also could just be that she's too young. Because, like, the main point is that the power from these two entities clashing is essentially just kind of like eroding her soul because she doesn't have enough power to fight it. So it could be that the reason why Yishuan's sister was able to survive so long is because she was actually powerful enough that she was able to keep herself protected. So even when the two forces clashed and the power washed over her, she was able to protect herself. And it was only when she had to fight in the catastrophe 11 years ago that she expended all her power and did not have any to defend herself against the sword and had to continuously use it until it eventually eroded her away. And it could be that Zhao Guang just doesn't have that ability at the moment. And so it is just constantly wearing her away. But I mean, I was kind of hopeful that maybe the scabbard was working perfectly. But if she was already having memory loss before she even met us, and if we assume that she never used the sword before she met us, like she was always in a protected location where she never had to use the sword, then if we assume that, then that means the scabbard's not helpful. Now, it could be that she did use the sword. It could be that there were situations where she had to. And so the scabbard is helpful, but her previous usages had already made her start to lose her memory. But,
あの時は毎日日記をつけて、だってもうどうしようもないことだから。
Yeah, like I already knew.
余計な心配をかけちゃう。
You know, I already knew that's why she did it. Because like telling us that she's losing her memory would just cause everyone to worry, and there's literally nothing they can do. Right? Nothing at all. Now, it would make them a little more urgent, right? Because it is definitely a dick move where it's like, dude, we were told that if you start to lose your memory, that's the start of a bad trend, and we probably would have been even more adamant against letting her use the sword earlier, because we did literally see her use it in our presence. And we thought maybe it's okay because she hasn't lost her memories, but now we realize, oh shit, no, it's not.
守るから師匠たちにもちゃんと話すわ。
分かった。私みんなに話すのは春光の準備ができてからでいいから。
ありがとう。
いい？春光。どんな時だって。
分かってるわよ。それで言うと。
Aw, you missed her confession. She was about to confess her love to us. Uh-oh, that's not good.
ここにも急いで外を確認しな
See,
きゃ
this is weird, right? Like, we didn't even see white flowers before. How the fuck did the black flowers already appear? Like, I would understand if it was like, while we were doing all sorts of shit, we were seeing a bunch of white flowers.
適当感
But the fact that they
状態なら
appear here as black flowers, because like the idea, my thought was that they are white flowers, and only after absorbing enough miasma do they become black and then start producing miasma. But like, how the fuck do they appear here as black flowers when they couldn't have absorbed enough miasma here?
早くみんなと合流しな絶対に
どうやら時
陸老師
私は言った
Oh.
生
Okay.
命権は雲岳さんではいつ抜く古の予言にはこう記されている闇が地を覆い万物は枯れ果て
Do we know who that is?
声さえ静まった時
Maybe that's it. So maybe Baize is. So maybe the creator who created the sword, but Baize is was one of the main ones who defeated him and sealed him, and then took the sword for themselves.
生命の力でこの長期兵を
春子一旦あの人の言うことを
白卓の道は独行にあらず変転せし運命が影のごとく寄り添い家福は相見たがい彼女の道を阻むでない天命に背いてはならぬ
I mean, to be fair, that is true, right? Using the sword is the sword wielder's destiny. Yeah, she's already done it multiple times, so.
ごめんなさい何言ってるのかわかんない春子外の様子を見に行かなくちゃ裏口から
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that is true, right? You shouldn't let this random dude who doesn't like know what anything means, you know. Oh, hey, it's Sudari.
みんなと相談しましょう
Sudari.
早く手を打たなくちゃ
ああ
Shit, I've already been walking for an hour. And this doesn't seem like it's going to end soon. It doesn't really seem like it's a good stopping point. Honestly, I probably should have... No, there wasn't really a good stopping point. Because we were given control of Zhao Guang, and then immediately led into all this. Wait, why is she here? Yeah, and it's also kind of a weird thing. So the Obo squad was sent, but not Yishuan. Like, really? The actual leader of the Yunqui Summit can't actually show up when the restored base of Yunqui Summit is under attack? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Because, like, she did something like this before. Like, when there was a bunch of monsters appearing all over the place, she appeared and did this huge, big thing to protect the Wi-Fi Peninsula. And yet, now she's not here, which presumably could have resolved everything in one fell swoop. But my bet is that Zhao Guang's gonna use the sword, of course.
長期兵中に異常なミアズマが広がってる
I mean, yeah, no one would think this would happen. Because like, we did see the flowers, but the flowers were white. Like, that's the thing, is like the flowers should have appeared here first, right? Like, when we were doing all of our other shit, there should have been white flowers all over the town, right? And then when the sky went red, then they should have turned black. That would have made more sense. For them to just appear out of nowhere already black is kind of weird. Like, they should have foreshadowed a little bit by showing white flowers all over the place. Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is like, why did you not think to do this for the flowers before, right? Now maybe she thought like we are as ourselves didn't have the power to do so, but now we have, you know, the two of us and our sibling, as well as Jufufu and the panda. Maybe with all of us here we have a chance. Well, to be fair, this was the first time she's done it, right? Now that she's done it once, she probably will be better at it next time. Because before she was just like searching for a core, but she doesn't know what a core feels like, you know. But now that she's actually found one, she's like, oh, okay, now I know what I'm looking for. I know how to quit more faster. Yeah, exactly. And also, don't we have other disciples too? It's not just us. Like, we have a whole pile of disciples at the temple.
それだけじゃフォローの私がフォローに入ってラマニアンの黒いでもそれじゃ大丈夫だよお姉さんもうリンなら
Yeah, sure.
入った時に見てるから
Shit. I know I'd always say I was on her side. I don't side with her though.
確かにあの時は大丈夫だったけど
何をもたもたしておるか
Dude, shut the fuck up. Get...
時と場合というものがあるあの時はまだ今動ける弟子たちでは長期兵の花を処理するだけで手一杯だろう
I mean, to be fair, that is true.
お主には宮妻を切り裂く生命権があるこれはお主の責任
I just hate that he keeps saying it's your duty, it's your calling. This is basically just putting a shitload of psychological pressure to make her feel like, yes, this is what she has to do. It's like, no. Regardless. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Is Lockspring going to turn into Sprout? Is he going to turn into the Golden Bangboo? That's Gaoguang's preferred Bangboo?
それなら僕と
時間もありませんしそうちゃん本当にダメそうなら早めに言っといてわかんないどうしてわざわざ自分に不利な条件をこっちっていうの雲岳さんや長期兵の人たちのためになりたいだって私には力があるんだもん
I guess that's true, actually. She was around. She did live here at the time of the catastrophe. She's seen what can go wrong and seen how people react and panicked and died when the Hollow Zero catastrophe happened 11 years ago. So I guess it does make sense that she would, if she has the power to help the people, that she'd want to.
春光のみんなを助けたいって気持ちは春光は私にとってすごく大切な先輩だからね前にも約束したけど友達として仲間としてあれこんなこと言うのはずっと私たちが力を合わせれば
And that is the interesting thing, is there a way for her to survive? You know? Like, right now she's being constantly eroded, but like, is there a way? Because there's always the idea that, like, you eventually, like, are able to resonate perfectly, and then it no longer affects you type thing, where it's like, yeah, I've powered up. So either A, she's able to resist it more, or B, she's able to. Oh, okay, cool. I can wait a sec. Okay, well then this seems like not really a great stopping point, obviously. Not really a great stopping point, but I've already been walking for an hour and 12 minutes. So I am just good. Hey, stopping. I am going to put a pin in this and spend my stamina real quick, and then call it a day. Because, like, I don't know how long it's going to take to go in there. I assume it's going to be a bit. I assume it's going to be at least 30 minutes, at least. More likely a full hour to complete the story. So I don't want to, like, start that and be stuck walking for a while. Like, to be fair, I could just, like, go stop walking, shower off, and then complete the story. But I was like, well, the story I could do tomorrow instead.
連続得点なのだわ。アリスに触んないで。おお、波乗りタイム。舐めないでください。離れて。どうせならまとめてかかってきては。やあ、お手合わせ願うのだわ。参りなさい。弱点が丸見えでしてよ。やって。潮風が頬を撫でる。連続得点なのだわ。アリス、育児飯はバイ気をつけて。今度の強そうだな。波しぶきのロング。完璧なシンメトリー。弱点が丸見えでしてよ。波のリズムを感じて。連続得点なのだわ。よっ、アリスに触んないで。波しぶきがザッポーン。舐めないでください。侵食注意報。構え、行って。弱点が丸見えでしてよ。
Okay, there we go. So, there's these two events. Plenty of time to do them. There's a huge rush. There's this, which is the last daily reward. That. Now it's all done. It's the only thing is this shit. But oh yeah, because there's the new channel that comes out in 16 days too. So, whatever. Okay, so. What's our preferred stuff? It's our skill and basic attack. A lot of money too. Okay. Whatever. Okay, so. Oh, nice. So this gives. Oh yeah, this gives the health regen. So that'll be nice. Actually, Zhao will be really useful because her health. So the problem with Astra with her heal is it only heals on burst, which makes it hard to do during the weekly boss weekly boss fights. However, there is a trophy for being full health at the end of every single one of the weekly boss fights. Now, I've gotten most trophies, and some of them are somewhat challenging, especially like the Twin Ballet one, because they do a lot of attacks, and it's hard to... Because basically the idea is that you just never get hit, right? Or you have a shield, or you heal, right? So, either A, you dodge everything and never take a single hit. B, you have a shield, so even if you do take a hit, it doesn't actually reduce your HP. Or C, you have the ability to heal, so even if you do take a hit, you heal back up to full before you beat the boss, and so you end the fight with full health. Now, there aren't that many healers, you know? There are very, very few healers. I think the only healers are Panda gets a heal with his burst. I think it's only with his burst, too. Astra gets a heal with her burst and only her burst. I think Caesar gives a shield. I think when she does her skill, it creates a little shield, which I think... It doesn't appear as a blue shield above your health bar, but I think it does appear as a different type of shield, but I think it is still a shield. And then... I think Ben gives a shield, and I think he also gives a shield. I forget, though. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm pretty sure Ben does. So, there are characters that give shields. But this game is one where you can not take any health. Now, the problem, of course, is that it's based on health. So even if you don't take a hit, if you are an agent that deals damage to their own health, like Yahari, Yahari is drains her own health, so you could not be at full health because you drained it yourself. Same for Minata. Minata also drains his health, charges his sword. So like that gets kind of tough because that basically means you can't use these guys if you want that achievement, if you want that trophy, because they'll just drain their own health and you will not satisfy that accomplishment. Because that's the other cool thing is that it's not like you have to take no hits, which would be a little more challenging because you have to literally take no hits. It's purely based on health, which means you can heal yourself up. So if you take a hit or two, if you're able to get this guy's burst up or her burst up, you can heal him a little bit. But with Zhao, it seems like her heal is based on her skill. And both her normal skill and her EX special skill both heal. So even without energy, you can just do her skill and have some passive regen. Now, obviously, it's not a crazy amount. It's 1.5% of her max health a second for a few seconds. So it's not an insane amount. So if you take too much damage, but it's the kind of thing where if you have it active and you take a hit early on in the fight, you could probably survive. You could probably be totally fine. So that's the cool thing about it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it for now. I will be back on tomorrow, and I will finish up Season 2 chapter... Oh, yeah, it's 2.5, because 2.0 was Chapter 1. Okay, so yeah, I'll finish up this probably tomorrow. It seems like it's tomorrow. It seems like this is the final little bit before it concludes. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all